Now, I want to go to this other ridiculous little story, and that is Scott Cam, who hosts reality TV show, The Block on Channel 9. And he's great talent. Everybody in the country knows Scott Cam, but he's a former tradie. He's a former tradie, Gemma, and so he's got so much cred and he's so well known and liked around Australia. Good idea for the government to get him out there spruiking apprenticeships. But does he really need nearly 350 grand for some part-time gig? Wouldn't he just do it out of his love for tradies?
Ha! Would you? I think the price is what the market will pay. Isn't that what we say in a free market society, Chris? Look, I don't know what his contract says. I don't know what is being asked of him in return. I don't know how they're going to measure success, but that will be the proof of the pudding. Look, I mean, using ambassadors to promote goods and services and destinations is as old as the hills. It's what happens in advertising, PR and marketing.
Oh, come on, come on, Gemma.
No, it is often very successful. I'm not saying it's a good spend of money.
Gemma, just let me... But paying him $3.45 million is wrong. Sorry, just doing an Angus Taylor there for a moment.
Doing an Angus Taylor, yeah.
No, but it's just too much, isn't it?
There. Oh, look, as I said, I genuinely, my firm doesn't deal in that sort of space, so I genuinely don't know what the market rate is. All I know is that the government will be hung, drawn and quartered on the success or otherwise of this strategy. Using celebrities to influence behaviour is not a new strategy. I will say this, though, in the current jobs economic environment, jobs growth environment, you know where I'm going with this, is probably not the wisest strategy, and I think maybe they could have hammered out a deal that had less threes at the front. I think that could have been possible.
They needed to do Angus Taylor in reverse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I reckon it's a shocker, Rebecca. It's just too much money. And we're all talking about the lack of wages growth, and I dare say Scott Cam is paid pretty handsomely by Channel 9 to start with. He's just organised some deal where he's looked after. He'd do it for the love of trades.
Well, they should have Sky News organising his salary. And I can tell you there'd be a great big saving. Pay him what they pay me.
So here's Scott Morrison talking about this last week.
Scotty Cam is a successful tradie, and he can make that message very clear. Now, we know no secret about the fact that he wasn't doing it as a volunteer, and he has done this work for previous Labor governments as well. So, look, this is about getting young people into trades, and he's a high-profile person involved in the media industry, and you have to meet the market.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he might be a winner, Stephen, because it's certainly got me interested in a trade.
Well, look, I mean, firstly, it's great to see trades being promoted. I think what would make this a lot easier to swallow for people is if they understood how much work he has to do for it. I think if he's got to turn up, stand next to the PM or, you know, 3 or 4 ministers, you know, once or twice a year, people will rightfully say, well, that's a bit rich. But if he actually has to, you know, set out, here's the 10 or 12 or 15 events that I'll be doing during the course of the year to promote this program, then it is possibly defensible. But at the moment, the fact the government actually refused to give the number up, it was only through the parliamentary processes that it came to light, has made it look bad. And I think if they would set out and explain how much value, and I think the Australian public will go, OK, look, if he's going to do 10 or 15 events, maybe that is a fair use of that taxpayers' money to really get behind the tradies' push.
Katie?
I don't have a big issue with this. I'm ready to be held down, but I actually don't have a big problem with this. I think if we're talking about a skills shortage around Australia and we want to try and draw people into different apprenticeships, well, you need to actually do that with somebody who's attractive to young people in terms of their earning capacity, in terms of the work that they do, and not just the fact that he's been a tradesman or a builder, but he's been able to actually, you know, expand his career, obviously, into television as well. And I think you've got to sort of also take a look at the way way that we try to sell other products, like Gemma pointed to earlier. If you're talking about promoting a sport, obviously it costs us quite a substantial amount of money to get different people involved as ambassadors for those sports. It's something that happens with different brands all the time. I guess what we're talking about here that makes it different is it's taxpayers' dollars. So obviously we want to make sure that the money that's spent is invested wisely and that there is indeed the right outcomes. We need to make sure that those numbers match.
Actually, there's something I need to jump in on there, Chris, because the state government in Western Australia wouldn't come under criticism, but it was under pressure to announce or to outline what, if anything, it paid Roger Federer to take a quokka selfie. Now, you have to have been living under a rock to not understand how powerful that marketing campaign has been for Western Australian tourism. It's been an absolute smash out of the park success. And, this is what happens. Governments make a call on the value or the perceived value versus the actual value. And to have the Fed taking a quokka selfie and posting it on his social media channels, well, it was reasonably successful.
Well, there you go. Isn't the block, the whole point of the block, they do up these units and then at the end the winner is the one who sells it for the highest price? Well, I reckon Scotty Cam's winning the part-time job. He's got top dollar there and good on him. And we all agree it's great to be promoting trades and getting more people into them. I keep hearing from people in business that we are facing a chronic skills shortage in this country, so we've got to get people into these areas.